and he just kind of had to throw it away. It's kind of remarkable how little he looks out there, by the way, but I guess we kind of knew that. But, I mean, it was bootleg after bootleg, but the Eagles seemed pretty prepared for that. And so he would boot out, and there'd be nobody there, and he would just kind of chuck it. And there were a decent amount of incompletions that I saw.
However, his accuracy, as you and I have talked about, has struggled. Today he threw some really good balls, and he also had some misses.
Breaking news from the Browns' joint session with the Eagles. Dillon Gabriel, who was expected to step up as the backup, is failing to deliver. His calculated attempt to keep Sanders off the field is rapidly crumbling. Gabriel, under immense pressure, has struggled to handle the heat from the Eagles' defense. In fact, his performance has been a disaster, with 4 sacks out of 5 attempts. His chances to shine have been completely wiped out. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite Gabriel's struggles, Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski has still chosen him to take the second spot in training, putting him ahead of Shedeur Sanders. This move comes amidst rumors of an alleged injury to Sanders, but it's clear that Sanders is feeling the pressure. Will Gabriel rise to the challenge, or will the mounting tension create even more problems for the Browns? Let's dive in.
Seemed like a lot of bootlegs, and a lot of bootlegs where nobody was really open, and he just kind of had to throw it away.
In an off-camera joint training session with the Eagles, Dillon Gabriel's performance was far from impressive, and Ross was the one to break the news. According to Tucker, Shedeur Sanders, despite all the preseason hype, appeared smaller than anticipated. Under pressure from the defense, he struggled to maintain control of the ball, and his size seemed to limit his ability to make accurate throws. On top of that, the running backs couldn't find any momentum either. The takeaway is clear. Sanders still has a lot to prove if he's going to secure his place as the solution for the Browns. Dillon Gabriel's struggles are becoming increasingly evident, sparking doubts about whether he can handle the pressure against the Eagles or if he's simply on the field due to Stefanski's decision. While it's still early to draw a final conclusion, the signs aren't looking good. His inability to perform when the pressure is on has many questioning whether Gabriel is the solution the Browns are searching for, leaving the team with more uncertainties than clarity. Before jumping to conclusions, though, let's take a closer look at the numbers he posted during the joint sessions. Gabriel had just 5 reps in the session, completing only 1 pass and getting sacked 4 times. That's a dismal 20% completion rate during training. If he can't handle it there, what can we really expect when the games count? Stefanski made the decision to pull Shedeur and make Gabriel the focal point. But right now, it's looking like Gabriel is on the path to failure. When that happens, Shedeur will most likely get another shot. Until then, Stefanski better brace for the fallout from the upcoming game, because with Shedeur sidelined, Dillon simply isn't the answer.
I can't imagine there's many people that think Dillon Gabriel's a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. I don't care where they were drafted. If the Browns are the one team that thinks that, then I'm going to suspect it's not true. They don't know what they're doing.
We've been on every quarterback evaluation for 30 years.
Right.
I never root against anybody.
Yeah.
But I'd be surprised if Dillon Gabriel's ever a legitimate starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
Despite his struggles, Gabriel remains optimistic and excited about getting his first NFL start. He's confident and declared that he's ready to step up and play, promising that it will be a great game. While his performance in training may raise doubts, Gabriel is determined to prove himself when the real action begins. While Gabriel insists he's ready, the reality is he's far from it. The answer is clear: no, he's not ready. Dillon Gabriel hasn't just had 1 or 2 bad training sessions. His performance has been inconsistent across the board, despite getting more opportunities than Shedeur Sanders. Gabriel was given every chance to step up, particularly when Shedeur was sidelined. So, what did he do with that opportunity? In the past, when Shedeur wasn't on the field, Gabriel completed only 11 out of 22 reps. That's a 50% completion rate when all eyes were on him, No pressure from Shedeur, no excuses, just him facing the moment, and he couldn't deliver. Let's be real. How can anyone seriously argue that Dillon Gabriel is the one to lead this team? How can you trust someone with such inconsistency when Shedeur Sanders is right there, fully healthy, locked in, and delivering every single time? And if you thought Gabriel's performance was just a fluke, think again. This isn't a bad day. This is the pattern. Take day 8 of camp, for example, one of his worst performances. Out of 14 reps, he completed just 3 passes. But the real shocker? He missed 11 passes by wide margins. That's not rust or nerves, that's a recurring issue. From the first snap, the defense had Gabriel figured out. They read him like an open book, and he had no answers. The rhythm, the awareness, the precision, it was simply absent. And as his struggles continued, the difference between him and Shedeur Sanders became even more glaring. On the flip side, Stefanski mentioned that Sanders' recovery might take a little longer than usual, emphasizing the need for caution due to the involvement of a crucial muscle group. However, the way he worded his comments and the brief pause in his delivery only fueled more suspicion. Each word seemed carefully chosen, as if he was avoiding saying something directly. That cautious tone has made it even harder to believe we're getting the full picture, leaving the feeling that there's more to the story that Stefanski isn't ready or willing to reveal. At this point, how much longer can the coaching staff continue to overlook it?
If it's a right guard, you can play for that. When it's a quarterback, you kind of need that muscle to throw. So unfortunately, going to put him down for a little bit here. We'll treat it day to day and see how he responds. But want to be smart because he's a thrower, so you can't push that.
For Stephen A., this wasn't just a football decision. It was politics at its finest. He argued that the timing couldn't possibly be a coincidence, with ownership subtly influencing the narrative while Stefanski played the role of the public spokesperson. This had little to do with health or competition anymore. It was all about control, making sure Shedeur's momentum never reached a point where they'd have to make a difficult choice. The result? A calculated move that left fans questioning the motives, critics fuming, and Stephen A. convinced that the real story was right there for everyone to see. While Dillon struggled to find his rhythm, Shedeur's presence only made the offense look stronger. The gap between them wasn't just noticeable, it became impossible to ignore. Every throw, every drill, every rep from Dillon only serves to build the case against him. At this point, how much longer can the coaching staff turn a blind eye to this? In conclusion, the pressure is mounting for Dillon Gabriel, and it's becoming harder to ignore his consistent struggles. Despite being given more than enough opportunities, especially with Shedeur Sanders sidelined, Gabriel's performance has been marked by inconsistency, missed throws, and a lack of composure under pressure. His 50% completion rate during training, combined with disastrous outings like day 8 of camp, where he missed 11 passes, reveals a disturbing pattern. It's clear that the defense has figured him out, and he's failing to adapt. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders has been a beacon of stability and talent, continuing to show what a leader can do when locked in. His ability to perform under pressure, combined with his natural skill set, sets a clear contrast between him and Gabriel. As the Browns face more intense scrutiny, the question arises, can Gabriel truly be the answer? Or is he simply another player who can't rise to the occasion? For the coaching staff, the clock is ticking. With Shedeur getting healthy and ready, and Gabriel continuing to falter, the decision becomes increasingly difficult to avoid. While Gabriel might still have time to prove himself, the signs aren't looking good. The team cannot afford to waste another season waiting for a player to find his form, especially when there's a clear alternative in Shedeur Sanders. As we look toward the upcoming game, one thing is for sure, the pressure is on, and the Browns need a quarterback who can deliver. Time will tell if Gabriel can turn things around, but for now, it seems like the gap between him and Shedeur is just too wide to ignore. So what do you think? Can Dillon Gabriel still turn things around and prove he's the right choice for the Browns, or is his inconsistency too much to overcome? With Shedeur Sanders looking sharp and ready to take over, Do you think the coaching staff should stick with Gabriel, or is it time for a change? How long can they afford to wait for Gabriel to rise to the occasion? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let us know what you think is the best move for the team moving forward.